I'm back. Welcome back to another episode of iTALK. I'm your host, Philip Boy, with a 3 in the building. You know the vibes. We're back, guys, for a very, very, very congratulations. We're hitting episode 80 today. Welcome to episode 80. Oh, crazy, guys. Crazy. This is crazy. But today is going to be a different day. It's going to be a different episode. So, firstly, glory to God. Without God, we wouldn't be here, right? All of us. God gives us gifts. God supplies the resources we need to be good stewards of the gifts, and the mindset we need to be good stewards of the gift, and the responsibility. God gives the responsibility to us along with our free will that, hey, here's something, go and do something with it, right? And watch me grow this little seed I gave you that in your mind you're only gonna see from a certain perspective. Like, you're gonna think the tree will be 5 foot, but I'm looking at 100. But your mind is not seeing like me. But here's a seed. I want to see if you are determined to go out there and use it, right? So glory to God, honestly, for giving us that. And glory to God for entrusting me with a gift that measures beyond me, kind of thing, right? Because when God trusts you with a gift, is so you're able, especially a gift that is like this, you gotta help and reach out to as many people as you can out there, and to as many neighbors as you can. You gotta try have an impact in their lives and show them, which, yo, man, Jesus loves you. Jesus wants to be with you. Jesus, and to those who already know that Jesus loves them and are already walking with Jesus, sometimes they just need a pick up, a push on the back. Sometimes it's those who need lessons on, okay, what about this morally? What about that morally? But there's a lot of things that we can contribute to with the gift that God gave us, And I'm just so happy that we're on episode 80, because I never in my life would I have ever imagined having a podcast, right? Like, that's one of the wildest things, let alone it going to episode 80. I never would have imagined this I never would have imagined it. The only time I ever found out about a podcast was in 2020 lockdown. Before that, I had no idea what a podcast was. I had no idea that a medium outside of radio, such as podcasting, existed. I thought radio was all there is to talking without seeing the person kind of thing, but I never knew the idea of a podcast at all. But here we are, by the grace of God. So glory to God for everything. Without him, nothing would have happened. Without him, we wouldn't even be here. Without him, I wouldn't be able to upload episodes every week, because what you mean, I wouldn't have the strength to do that. Consistency takes a lot within you, right? So, like, you need strength from the Lord. So glory to God, Jesus Christ, our King. And shout out to God. Honestly, shout out to God. He's the main player in all of this, right? Appreciation, number one, God, because he's responsible for everything. God is literally like the CEO of iTalk. He's the owner of iTalk. Like, he's the major, like, he's everything, like, he owns it. You know how these rich billionaires own countries behind the scenes? Yeah, that's God. But God everywhere behind the scenes, and he's all up in the videos as well. God owns everything, and I just pray that we never walk astray from his purpose and his will in our lives, because he's doing so much good things in us, through us, that it would really be misfortunate if we had to lose that in the walk with God. So I pray that we never ever lose that drive, because what you mean, bro, but either way, Okay, shout out to God. Shout out to God. I'm thinking right now, we're already 5 minutes into the episode. So, okay, today we're gonna recap, right? We're gonna recap, we're gonna go back, we're gonna, we're gonna be doing a couple of things, But okay. So firstly, we're gonna be giving like let's see. We're gonna be checking up on our guests, the guests we've had on the pod, the episodes, how the episodes were. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna open my YouTube, right? Because when you've shot enough episodes, sometimes I'm not gonna lie to you, I have no idea what we're speaking about. So at least when I can read like the description, yeah, and I can have an idea, it's okay, and maybe my memory will kick in from there. But yeah, in terms of the whole thing, yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy either way. But yeah, I'm just going there, nah? Yeah, okay. So we've reached iTalk, the iTalk playlist. Okay. So we're gonna run it back, right? Oh man, this is crazy. Okay, I just wanna open the full playlist. There we go. Excuse me. Excuse me. I thought to myself, actually, if I fart on camera and y'all hear it like poo, like how would y'all take it? Because it low key, it's not like disrespectful or crazy because you can't smell it, but you heard it, and I don't think either way. We'll see one day. We'll see if we are guessing one day and we want to give it a try. But hey, let's go back. Okay, so firstly, first episode of iTalk ever was 2 years ago on March 23rd, I think. I just spoke about it on the previous episode, so I have to remember this date correct, unless if my mind is tripping. Yes, March 23rd. March 23rd, 2023 was the first iTalk episode, and that's when we started the pod, right? And started moving it, right? So we're going to now look at someone very, very, very impactful in the history of iTalk, right? And that's Kolani, aka VVS Godly. Now, on thingy, okay, on let me see this date. What is this thing doing? Okay, let me do this. Hold on. My PC is disappointing me. Well, my YouTube at least. But I just want to see the days. Okay, yeah. On May 4th, 2024, we had our first ever guest on iTalk, right? Before iTalk was just solo, one-man pod, all the way. But on May 4th, things changed and we had the very first guest episode, and that one was dope. That's actually episode 16, right? I wrote them down here. So from episode 1 to episode 15 was solo episodes. Then episode 16 we hit with the making of an Amapiano MC, right? Yeah, go check it out. The pod was just about godly and yeah, stuff like that, like him, more on him, right? And then episode 20 we had was Cocomelon, right? Cocomelon. Where we're talking about Kendrick's this and Cocomelon, how it's trending. Yeah, I think that was the whole reason we had Cocomelon on there. And then hold on, why is my PC doing this? Hey, bruh, chill. Okay, then from there we went to episode 22. So okay, so that means I had episode 20 with him. Then I had 21 as I had a solo episode. Then on the 22nd, it's back again with thingy VVS Godly on the from fasting to podcasting and more. And then on episode 26, that one was a bit more funnier for me. At least it was a bit enjoyment. We had the Hoverboard+Twin on the couch, right? Then on episode 28, this was one of the groundbreaking episodes, actually. So episode 28 was very special because it was actually the first 3-man pod we had it. So right now, as you can see, Godly has already broken 2 barriers. The first one was the first guest on the episode, on the pod. The second one was the first 3-man pod. Now let me tell you, Drake's, Kendrick, Caldo, whatever, how this pod came about. Obviously I hit up Godly. I'm like, yo bro, let's we used to link by Pick and Pay. There used to be a Pick and Pay. If you know the Pick and Pay, you know the Pick and Pay, brother. But listen, then one of the days in the morning, I think he came with Lunje. Then yeah, we just went to shot the pod, first 3-man pod. Obviously I was a bit anxious as to how the mic would pick up or whatever, you know me with the technical what either way. Listen, beautiful pod, very beautiful pod. It was funny, you know. It was one of the pods I actually genuinely enjoyed, like in terms of having fun on the pod, and not just it being fun for you as the guest, or I mean as the audience, as the person watching it, but it being fun for me in the moment. And then I realized that, you know what, this thing, and that was episode 28, mind you. So I then realized that this is actually worth a try, right? So far we have Godly, right? And that was then we go back on episode 30, right? We're back again with Godly on episode 30, which was on July 6th, 2024. On episode 30, we were joined with Godly and Josias, right? So Josias Mjovo is also a friend of Godly, and yeah, no, I feel like the vibe, like, you know what, the gents are so chilled in a way that, like, you know, it's easy to bust balls and throw jokes kind of thing, and that makes it the environment more chilled, more fun, more relaxed, you know. And I feel like Josias definitely has that chilled vibe. And one thing though that's memorable about me with this Josias episode is the clips that we made from there, like the shorts. Do y'all think the music video is gonna break another Drake record?
Nah. People have already lost interest.
You asked Kendrick or Drake, the most recent
Kendrick. So now it's like, okay, Kendrick, we know that. So what else are we supposed to say?
Even if like they don't make him president, right?
So
but they just put him there as a president just so he can make jokes, make tweets,
racism,
you know.
no like, racism, but you basically saying he would be the white man.
Yeah. The PDF file stuff.
I'll definitely say there's a lot going on behind closed doors that we don't know. We've heard about Diddy already. So what makes you think Drake is not doing a lot of shit behind closed doors?
Cupcakes.
Cupcake.
Oh, cupcake.
Yeah.
I saw a video. Bakulumi's China Pangwa. He's there like, he's standing with this other way like this, though. Your president. Yeah. The shots were crazy. The shots were funny. It was beautiful. It was beautiful for me in that term, in that context, whatever. And then from episode 30, we're still on Kolani. Hey, Kolani has gang episodes. Okay. So on episode 33, okay, it was the see you soon thing, okay, episode, okay? So that was on July 27th. So this episode, firstly, came straight after this portrait, right? So it was off the back of that. So like the studio kind of looked different. That's what I remember about that. The studio kind of looked different, and it felt like we were all dressed. So this was another 3-man pod with VVS Godly and Josias. So he made a second appearance. It probably was a thing of he made a second appearance because he showed up. Because let me tell you, in most instances like this, it's not about it being planned. No, we're gonna have this person or this person. As much it is about that, we do plan that, but it's not based on that as much. Sometimes if you just show up, then you're in there because someone else chose to not show up, or someone else chose to be late, or there's a lot of things that pile onto that. So either way, he was on that pod. That pod was dope to me aesthetically, right? Because when I looked at it, even the thumbnail, it slapped. It's rising for me. Like beautiful. I'm pretty sure the episode was hyped looking at the thumbnail, and I'm doing something like so. Definitely pretty sure the episode was hyped. Then we move on to episode 37. Okay. So episode 37 was was late night victims. So that one was like more hip-hop focused, hip-hop based. But let me tell you how this came about, right? Because this was also like a crazy episode. So TT, right? TT wanted to sit down with Promethazine, right? So TT organized the whole sit down thing, and he wanted so from what I got, he wanted Promethazine to come on the pod, or he offered Promethazine to come on the pod one way or another. But the miscommunication was that he was supposed to be on the pod, right? So me being me, a person who arranged things on my own time, and I, as much as I understand my time most of the time is unaccommodating, because right now as I'm shooting this is 5 a.m. And if I had to have a guest who's waking up at 5 a.m. to shoot a pod kind of thing, so I do not expect my standards of what I would do at 5 a.m. or shoot a pod at 5 a.m. to move on to the next person kind of thing. I don't want to put that pressure on the next person. So that's why I organize things in my own time whereby I can arrange it. So the most important thing for me was arranging a time with Promethazine. So I did arrange a time with TT. I think it just couldn't make it or something. And then I still had the schedule with Promethazine. All right. So then Godly, being someone who frequents the pod, obviously, if you frequent the pod, I know that I can trust you to pull through for a pod and actually deliver some content worth listening to kind of thing. So that's how he came about and came in, right? Then from episode 37, we have to skip all the way to episode 45, right? So on episode 45, that was just like after a whole series of episodes, and this was the last episode he was actually on. This was just an episode with me and Godly. It was in October 12 on the 12th of October 2024. Crazy, that's the last episode. Crazy. But why this doesn't feel crazy, even though it looks crazy, is because I see this guy. Like, I was with him literally like now. So it kind of like, when you look at this, my mind doesn't factor in that like you've last seen him on the pod. Because I bump into him a lot of times. Trust me. This nigga is always outside. But listen, moving on. So that makes it 2, 4, 6, 8, 9. So VVS Godly has 9 iTALK episodes. So don't forget to go check him out. Let's run it back. Episode 16, Making of an Amapiano MC. Episode 20, The Cocomelon. Episode 22, From Fasting to Podcasting. Episode 26 with Twin. Episode 28, which is the 3-man pod. First 3-man pod ever with Lunje. Episode 30, which is the 3-man pod with Josias. Episode 33, which is the other 3-man pod with Josias, but the one where we're going crazy, wearing all black, information. Episode 37 was the one with Kolani and Promethazine. Promethazine's first time ever appearing on iTALK. And then episode 45 was the one, Diddy or Dama, when we're just, catching up, laid back vibes. And yeah, moving on. So firstly, before we wrap up with the whole Kolani thing, firstly, shout out to Kolani. consistency. Shout out for him pulling up at all times, shout out for him, even though sometimes we would like reschedule or something or this or that, we made it a priority to get the episodes done. And I'm just happy for that. I'm happy for that commitment, I'm happy that he was able to pull through for me through that, because also in that season it was also fresh. So like it's like, okay, you want to start doing guests, but where do you start now? Because firstly, you don't have a lot of friends like that, and you don't know a whole gang of people, right? But the nice part is I know Kolani, and I know Kolani knows a whole lot of people, right? So that was a good start. So it's just, it was building from there, and he genuinely helped me like to also get comfortable with speaking to someone else on iTALK. Because remember, there was a whole just 15 episodes before that where I was just solo. So he just helped me to get in the space of actually podcasting with other guests, and actually understanding that. And he broke the door for 3-man pods. He broke the door for guest episodes. So he will always be like one of the icons of iTalk for sure. Like he's there, right? He's there, right? I mean, the number of episodes pretty much shows it that he's there, kind of thing. So I feel it. Moving on to the second person. So this nigga right here, firstly, let me tell y'all, guys. So hold on, let me see where's the last okay. So the very first time I met this man was on episode 39, which was the Rodio and Promethazine episode. Yes, Rodio, the very let me see which thing that episode dropped. It was probably shot a couple of days before though, so do not say this is when. I would say maybe because it was out on September 7th. I probably met him around early September, right? Before this, because I met him exactly on the day we're going to shoot the episode. What had happened was I was remember 2 episodes back, right? Before this episode, before episode 39, which is going to be episode 38, 37. Episode 37 was the one with VVS Godly and Promethazine, right? So after that was a different one, episode 38. I'm going to get to it. I'm going to talk about it. So episode 39, I had wanted to probably get to get Promethazine on the episode, right? And just talk to him about whatever. Just give him a solo episode as well, see how that goes, whatever, right? But when I went there, this was actually the first time I was upset because them niggas were late. Them niggas were late. It's the first time I felt upset at thingy for being late. And it was mostly Promethazine because he's the contact here kind of thing. And I think it was meant to bring someone else, but he didn't or something. Then he ended up bringing Rodio. So now the first time I'm seeing Rodio, I'm like, this nigga looks sketchy. Right? Rodio looks sketchy, bro. If you see Rodio on a random day, like when he's in a hood, it really does look sketchy, bro. Rodio does not look like someone, you get me. So Promethazine, obviously, them niggas, I like their movement because them niggas, all the neighbor worlds people, they always like pushing each other, promoting each other like that. So that's what Promethazine did. It's like, hey, there's my boy Rodio. Can he join us? Blah, 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 blah. We're like, okay, we're going to go with Rodio as well. Now, when I see Rodio, I'm just like, I'm not too sure of this nigga. This nigga, I don't know what Rodio was wearing. This just goes to show that you can't judge someone by how they appear kind of thing, right? But either way, I'm like, this nigga, like, he was kind of like wearing like just like a skinny jean with like flops and just like that red thing, and he kind of looked dusty in a way because obviously we caught him last minute. He didn't have time to clean up, so that's kind of one of the points. And we're just like, hey, let's go right now. And with gents, when it's right now, bro. We can't be waiting for you. Now you wanna go bath and So moving on. when we go there, I'm just like, okay, as we're going, and I get to have some conversation with him, I hear, okay, this nigga, when he speaks, you can hear that he's got, some sort of mind around it, whatever. But I'm just like, you know what, we'll discover it on the pod, because some things, right, I want to save them for the pod kind of thing. Because when you get to learn someone, sometimes it's more fun when it's on the pod because you learn with the audience kind of thing, and it gets more fascinating because I'm the type of person that when I get fascinated by something, I go deeper into it. So kind of if you have the same ick as the audience member watching it, you're gonna actually learn with me kind of thing. So it's a fun thing. Either way, that's besides the point. The point is, that was the first time I met Rodio, and little did I know that this nigga was going to be one of the most important faces of iTALK, for sure. Like, little did I know. Rodio, man. So firstly, Rodio is 5 episodes, right? I legit thought he had more. It feels like we've shot a lot more episodes, but I understand sometimes it's like the length. That's what would make it feel longer. But Rodio, not only did he bring himself, he also helped get some guests, and it's crazy, it's beautiful as well. So the first one, episode 39, was him and Promethazine. That's the very first time I learned about who they are, Neighbor's World, this, that, and third. Beautiful episode, I deeply enjoyed it. Then after a couple episodes, but it wasn't so memorable to me, right? That episode with Rodio and Promethazine, right? So later on, episode 47, I feel like for me, this episode was what changed everything kind of thing. So I had hit up Rodio to organize for the episode, probably just me and him, solo episode. Remember what I tried to do with Promethazine and get him a solo episode, then he brought Rodio. So I was trying to do the same thing with Rodio. Then Rodio brings Nkosi, right? We're like, okay, we do have space for a 3-man pod, so if we can, let's do that, right? Brings Nkosi the poet, episode 47, the one of Poets Are Boring, one of the most, hold on, I just want to check something for you. This episode has 25.5 hours of watch time, and this episode is 1 hour 43 minutes. So it was one. Let me tell y'all, when I talk about, you see what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about. When remember I told you of the 3-man pod, the first 3-man pod, how I enjoyed it? That was this episode. Like, when we're shooting the episode, I genuinely enjoyed it. Like, Nkosi is a vibe, bro. We gotta have Nkosi back on the pod, yo. Nkosi is a vibe, bro. Like, if we think about it. And it's just not just about the fun, but the conversations we could have from the different takes. Also, that's another thing I like about Rodio. Rodio is informed on more things than an average person would, right? Kind of thing. So it becomes easier to have different conversations with him. And even if he's not informed, Rodio is curious to a certain extent that he's willing to learn what you have to share. So whether you're going to be speaking about something he knows or something he doesn't know, he still pays interest, whether it's going to be for contributing or for learning, but he still pays interest kind of thing. And it makes the conversation more vibrant in some way, shape or form. Either way, that's not the point. The point is, we got to have Nkosi back, man, on the pod. We got to have Nkosi back. And then moving on, that was episode 47. Literally the next episode, episode 48, I'm chilling with Rodio. Okay, one thing I remember about this episode was the audio sucked. Why? Because we did record audio, right? We recorded the audio, but then I think that we lost the files or something like that. So I literally had to use the camera audio, right? But luckily, this era was still in the studio, so the audio was usable, because it's not like now when we do guest episodes outside and stuff like that. So the audio was still, usable, even though one of our most viewed clips, let me see, let me see something, is actually from that episode with I think that's what I'm just bringing up what I remember about that episode. Hold on. What was it? Hold on. Yeah. The Open Chats podcast plus MT. That's what I was speaking about. It was taken from that episode, and I think there was a Ballon d'Or. That's the first time. Shout out to Freeman. Hey, okay, so yes, I was right. One of the most viewed, the second most viewed clip on the channel, longer clip, is of that episode with Rodio. So yes, the audio was trashy, but I guess people still listen to it, and no one complained about the audio. But when you know how the audio is supposed to sound, when it's supposed to be crisp, and you care about it, because sometimes people just care about hearing what you say and not actually the quality. But it's just like when I can hear that click of the spit in my mouth when I'm speaking on the mic, and I can hear the tone, like, and the voice, like the waves of the voice on the mic, like when you're listening on a headset. Bro, I want you to have the best sound experience kind of thing, especially when it's in a controlled environment like this. You gotta be able to hear every part of my mouth, no daddy, but like you gotta be able to hear it. Like there's this certain thing that comes with the feel. Either way, if you get it, if you don't, forget about it. Listen, that episode, as much as I didn't like the audio on that, I guess people liked it a lot. On the Ballon d'Or topic, there was a guy who used to work with, Freeman. Freeman asked me, he's like, yo, bro, he used to watch the pod at the time. I don't know if he still does. Haven't spoken to the nigga in a minute, but shout out to him. But hold on. Hey. But he asked me, he's like, bro, are you tapped into soccer? Do you watch soccer and all that? Now, I don't watch soccer at all, Then he told me there's like this Ballon d'Or. He explained it to me. He's like, one guy was supposed to win, but he never won. So the other guy, whatever. So I was just speaking to Rodio about it, just feeling like, do you know what this is about kind of thing? But yeah. So moving on, after that episode, that was episode 48, right? We go to episode 51. Okay. So this was another dope episode. So in this era, we're still doing heavy promo for Banige by AGS Music. If you haven't checked it out, what are you still doing? AGS Music is taking off over worldwide, international. So what are you doing? Not checking them out. Go check out AGS Music. Something worth listening to. Them niggas, dope music. Go check them out. But that time we're still promoting Banige because Banige was freshly out at the time. Well, if it wasn't freshly out, it was about to drop, or either way, it was around that era. You'll remember that era if you've been tapped into the channel, right? But there was a hot day. And that's why Rodio is shirtless. He had to end up taking his shirt. I remember that episode because he had to take off his shirt, obviously, because it was hot, like hot. Right now, as I say it was hot, I kind of miss that hotness because this cold is not doing it for me. The sun sets early. Like, bro, what do you mean, man? What do you mean? You see this? Like, I genuinely miss it. But that was a dope episode. That's what I remember about it, though, was it was hot. Then fast forward, so that was episode 51, and that was the last solo episode I had with Rodio, right, as a guest on episode 51. Then we fast forward weeks and weeks later, on episode 78, we have the return of Rodio in a 4-man pod, the first ever 4-man pod. And that was beautiful. That pod, honestly, was beautiful because, like, even how it came about. Okay, so this is what's happening, right? No, you know what? I'm not going to speak about how that one came about under this because I still have to reach Luewelyn's part. So I'll speak about it under the Luewelyn part because that was the main idea kind of thing, right? That was the main idea. But no, actually, No, actually, I can speak about it right now because the previous idea. Okay. Let me just explain it so you'll understand. Firstly, this episode was meant to have first 3-man pod in a minute, right? But I just didn't know whether I wanted to shoot 2 separate pods or I wanted to shoot, so the plan was, firstly, who's reliable? Who can I call and I know that they gonna most likely show up for the episode, and not only show up, deliver. Rodio, guys, Rodio, I don't think you'll understand. Like, Rodio, bro, like, one day when the pod does well, we gotta say thank you to all these people, bro. Like, what you mean, bro? Rodio's always pulling through for the pod. Always. Like, Rodio does not disappoint. Rodio does not. No, but bro, I'm telling you, there was a day we didn't shoot a pod. We were meant to shoot a pod. It just started raining out of nowhere, right? And we saw the rain coming. Literally, we were like, it's gonna rain very, very soon. But Rodio's still like, you know what, bro? You wanna go shoot? Let's go shoot the pod. We literally went, and then it rained along the way. And I was just like, no, bro, you know what? Just go, just go. Then we went our separate ways. Then yeah, but. He was willing to walk in the rain for us to shoot the pod. So Brody's dedication is on a different level. So I'm just like, let's get Rodio to come through, right? So second person, I'm like, okay, if I'm going to go out, especially in the morning to shoot a pod, at least let me get 2 pods, right? But then right now I'm speaking about the life lessons episode 78. Yes. So I'm just like, let me go rather get 2 pods. So the first plan, the first idea was we could shoot at Promethazine, but the problem was the last time we had tried to organize a pod, Promethazine wasn't around, so we couldn't really go there. But I then think about the next person, who is Luewelyn. Luewelyn is dedicated. It's just that he slacks a lot. That's the thing about Luewelyn. He is dedicated, but he does slack a lot, kind of thing. And you gotta be dedicated and reliable. That's the perfect combination into, kind of Rodio kind of thing. When I Luewelyn, you should learn from Rodio. In fact, I should timestamp this as I'm telling him to learn from Rodio, and then I just send it to him, and then he watches it so that I don't have to tell him in person. Then yeah, if he can talk about the response instead of me telling him that point when I've already told it to the whole world for him. Listen, guys. So what happened was, I then hit up Luewelyn, right? I'm like, yeah, we can shoot a pod. I'm planning on shooting 2. So if you can organize a location, then we'll be good. Then, okay, Luewelyn, firstly, he was late that morning. Rodio showed up with Leo, right? Addictive, yeah. And then, yeah, we waited till Luewelyn showed up. Then he took us to another place, a friend's house. That friend is someone, when you know someone by seeing them, speaking to them, but you don't know their names or who they genuinely are. Yeah, because the nigga told me the nigga's name is Then I'm like, okay, I don't know of a Then when I get there, I'm like, oh, it's you, kind of thing. Yeah, so either way, we shot. Beautiful episode. Lots of memories were made there. So shout out to that. And I just, you know what, ne? I realized what I love there is that Luewelyn and Rodio dynamic, right? Where one is more serious and more, on the pushback side of things, and the other one is more, free and more, joyous, and kind of like it's like there's this nice dynamic there. I can't explain it, but it's like there's a perfect balance whereby probably Rodio and I would laugh at something crazy dumb, but Luewelyn wouldn't. But Rodio wouldn't give pushback on certain things. even if he feels like he should, but like he won't give that strong pushback, because Rodio's pushback would be authentic. So if his pushback is met with resistance and an explanation, it's just gonna fall down. But Luewelyn's pushback kind of also has this devil's advocate thing. So if you say the one thing and then he's gonna correlate it to the next thing, that okay, since you say this, how can this, kind of, and then it's like a back and forth at that point. But the dynamic is beautiful. I definitely would like to see more of that consistently. I feel like also if Rodio and Luewelyn could get comfortable and know each other like that, like it would be a beautiful dynamic for the show. In fact, if anything, it would be dope, like as like a genuine, like a pod that we have, a consistent thing that we know, like maybe every once a month you guys are gonna get the 3-man pod with Rodio and Luewelyn kind of thing. But we will see how that develops, because I just love that dynamic. It's just, there's something about it. I feel like it's rubbing off on me. Either way, moving on. So before we move on, Rodio has 5 episodes. That's episode 39, episode 47, episode 48, and episode 51, and episode 78. And then, final thoughts. Rodio, congrats to you, my guy, for always showing up for your work. And congrats to you for always pushing, bro. Rodio's always pushing. Rodio's always live. Go check out his live streams, actually. You might find them more entertaining. I mean, it's crazy. Random times of the day. You're definitely going to find that entertaining. But listen, Brody has pulled through so many times. And you know what? I appreciate his consistency. I appreciate his love for the pod. I appreciate his efforts and everything he does, And I'm excited as well, because there's something that we are cooking with Rodio, right? But I don't want to speak about it, right? I took my pledge of silence. I will not speak about it, because me, I like to share. But listen, I will not speak about it, right? I will not be like Rodio and leak it. Rodio, hey guys, Rodio, I'm telling y'all, Rodio leaked that Neighbor's World songs. Go back to that Life Lessons episode. They spoke about how Southside heard the song because someone leaked it, and Rodio laughed. And on top of that, that same episode, Rodio leaked it when I sent him the link, right, for him to watch. But either way, guys, Rodio is a leaker. You all watch Rodio around your stuff that you don't want leaked. Rodio. You know what? Luewelyn also, you know what? These two might actually get along when I think about it now. Because Luewelyn had one of my other older unreleased songs that I cannot release because of the content on it. It's not what I believe right now. It's not how so it's kind of like, it wouldn't make sense for me to have it as a fresh release kind of thing. So he was like, we should leak it. I'm like, nah, we're not leaking it. But yeah, they definitely have the same mindset. Either way, moving on. Episode, okay, Gilly. Yes, shout out to Gilly, man. Shout out to Gilly. Gilly killing it out here. AGS to the world. The niggas, I see they pushing, still pushing, going crazy. Y'all go support. And then let me just see something. I'm just trying to see the first episode, right? Okay. So the first episode we had with Gilly was with TT, right? So hold on. Let me go back to this. Yeah. So, okay, it was the hip hop versus Amapiano. Okay. So this one was funny. It was like, cause TT is like this, confrontational type of person. So he was having this back and forth about hip hop and Amapiano, and like I feel like it was a dope dynamic. It was a bit chaotic, and the episode was short, looking at 41 minutes. So that was very short. But that was no, yes. See, that was the first episode we thingy we was that the first episode we shot? No, it couldn't have been. Hold on. That was the second episode, the one with TT and Gilly. That was episode 38, yes. The first episode was episode 35 with Gilly and Andra, which is actually one of the most viewed guest iTALK episodes to date. We're just speaking about music, just the general South African culture. That was so beautiful, such a dope conversation. One thing I remember about that is it was a beautiful conversation, and I'm not sure as to how dope the clips were. I can't recall that much. Then we move on to the episode 38 with TT and Gilly. That was also okay, a bit chaotic. Then episode 52 was the Baniga promo episode. So we're just promoting the song, the music video, this, that, and third. Now my favorite episode was episode 54. That one was funny. Impilo, go check it out. Like, y'all go check out that episode, because Siga was tired, after that whole time. I think it was from work, night shift or something. So I even forgot how we met up or whatever. There was just, we always, one thing I remember with the TT episode, I was supposed to shoot with TT and someone else, but the other guest couldn't make it. So we had to come up with a plan. And I think that's when we came with, thinking of it, that's when we probably came with Gilly, and then I think Gilly might have brought Andra. Yes, I think that's how it happened, because there was a time I remember speaking to him and calling him, and then he pulled up with Andra. He's like, I'm gonna bring my producer, and I'm like, okay, no worries. Then he pulled up with him. So yeah, but that's besides the point. Episode 54 is actually my favorite, right? That's the one I enjoyed. But yeah, wrapping it up, Gilly has 4 episodes, episode 35, episode 38, episode 52, and episode 54. And shout out. He's a dope, very, very, very dope personality on there. I feel like he's funnier than he actually knows. So it's kind of, it brings off that, funny vibe for the pod. But either way, moving on to the next guest, TT. So TT had three episodes. One of them was episode 38, obviously with Gilly, and then the other one was episode 36. We're running this one backwards. Was episode 36? Where's episode 36? Oh, okay, it was a 2-man pod. We're just chatting about whatever we're talking about. Okay, that one I don't even remember that well. And then there was episode 24, which was the first episode TT was on, the Denim Dreams one, where he was just speaking about his design and his brand and all of that. So, running it back now, TT, dope. I feel like now I'm saying dope thing for everyone. Come on, man. Be more creative. TT, crazy. Truly crazy. But no, TT, the nice thing about TT is that no matter how baseless his argument is, he's going to advocate for it like as hard as he can. So even if he doesn't have the facts, he doesn't have everything, but he's going to push for that point, and it's so dope to see that, because also I feel like it's kind of different when you bring 2 guests together, because Mina, as the host of the show, I kind of have this responsibility to be kind of neutral towards the guest. So if the guests are going at it about a topic, I kind of have to support both sides, so I don't get in the crossfire of that. But I feel like when you put him with someone else and he's there for pushback, it's even way more fun. But we should definitely have him on future episodes. And hold on, I just got a message from Rodio, because I saw a screenshot of someone drawing like a penis on his pants, and I looked at the pants. They actually had a penis drawn. So I had a question like, why you have a penis on your pants? That sounds cool. Moving on, Luewelyn, guys. Luewelyn, they might kill Luewelyn. You know what, ne? Luewelyn, let me tell y'all something. How did I meet Luewelyn? How did I think I probably met him at the park. Yeah, I probably met him at the park. The thing is, I knew Luewelyn way before we shot the first iTALK episode kind of thing. So it was a long-awaited kind of thing, right? Because I remember we had tried to arrange it so many times and it fell through and this, that, and the third. But that episode was spiritual. That's one thing I can tell you about that. That episode was growth. That episode was information that you need for the kingdom. Like, bro, that information, I like that episode. I enjoyed the episode. And one thing I learned as time went was that different generations would resonate with the episode. It was one of the craziest things because I'd have like older people telling me about the episode and how they enjoyed it and how this, that, and the third. And like it didn't make sense, but like the episode was beautiful, like genuinely beautiful. Even though as I criticized, no one obviously complained about the audio, but as I criticized, some parts of the audio kind of had too much echo in them. Now at this point, I feel like I'm a Karen to my own work. Trust me. Like I'm like, bro, you keep on mentioning that no one comments about these things, but you keep on mentioning and bringing it up how the audio was bad. But bro, I gotta be honest with you. If I deeply feel like the audio had too much echo in it, the audio had too much echo in it. But either way, it wasn't as crispy as I would have liked it. But the craziest part is most of these episodes that I'm like, something is off, something is what, the people just like even more. But either way, that episode was spiritual. That episode was beautiful. That episode, you know what? Like, that was one of the most, like, you know, like deeper conversations I've had with the guest on the pod kind of thing in terms of spirituality, learning, and going through the whole faith journey. That was beautiful. That was beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Like, man, if I could go back there, man, I would in a second. But that was a beautiful part. Episode 31, go check it out. Spiritual Awakening. Man, so beautiful, guys. So beautiful. But next time we saw Luewelyn was on episode 46, right? Now, episode 46, he had a return with Tumelo, right? So Tumelo, I only met him on that episode. But basically Luewelyn wanted to have him on the pod, right? But Luewelyn wanted to be behind the scenes, right? But now the thing is, sometimes I don't trust like the dynamic kind of thing that like I'd be like, Luewelyn, you gotta be on cam kind of thing, you know. But Luewelyn has been wanting. There was a pod that we'll get to down the line where Luewelyn was there behind the scenes. He orchestrated it. But in terms of him being, he wanted to literally be behind the scenes for that episode. But we literally forced him in it and we're like, come on in. Because I also know that Luewelyn, once Luewelyn is in a conversation and he gets engaging, like he brings out this thing of me where I just want to teach, you know, and correct and show you, which, you know, this is why I see it from this perspective and this is how it is and this and that, because he plays devil's advocate so much that you just have to think. You have to think. That's all it is. You have to think. Like when you have conversations with Luewelyn that are deep chat, you have to think. So that's another reason why I like to have him on the pod, honestly. You know, but the problem is Luewelyn slacks, man. Luewelyn slacks, but I feel like maybe that's what makes it like that, because maybe if he wasn't slacking and he was always here, he wouldn't have the same you know, to the people or even to me when I have a conversation with him, right? But either way, moving on, then The third Luewelyn episode was the one with Rodio and Leo, episode 78, which I already spoke about. So those are the 3 episodes Luewelyn is on. Moving on to Promethazine. Okay, we're going to run this one quicker because these are getting shorter and shorter, right? So Promethazine has episode 37 with Kolani, VVS Godly. You all remember the late night victims. Episode 39 with Rodio and Promethazine. That's episode 39. That's the first one, right? Hold on. Yes, that's the first Rodio pod. That's the one. Yes, episode 39. That's the first Rodio pod. And then there's episode 70 with just Promethazine. Episode 70 was actually my first solo pod with Promethazine, right? But crazy, it was my second guest episode back from the PC crash and my second guest episode since we no longer shooting in the studio. So I had the first one outside already. This was the second one. So a lot of barriers getting broken there, and it was just nice because like the first guest episode I had was with a new person. Now this was like a refresh, a catch up, and we spoke about a lot. And crazy part, one thing I liked from it in the aftermath was that later on when I met Promethazine a couple of days, weeks or something later after the pod, we spoke about Ibrahim Traore because he wasn't as informed on it when we were speaking on the pod, but for the fact that he went and go do his research, went and did his homework and found out about it, and we were able to have a conversation about what he's doing, this, that, and the third. That was beautiful to see because it's a good mentality to have that when we don't know this for now, we don't just forget about it because the moment is over, but we actually go out there and teach ourselves to learn on that topic and, learn further on it because you never know when you might need to know, you never know when you might need to know, crazy. But listen, that was the 3 Promethazine episodes. Moving on to the very first actually female guest we've had on the show, Cinci. I have no idea. I probably met Cinci at the park as well. I have no idea how I know her. Oh yes, I think I did actually. But either way, hold on, I'm trying to go back. Okay, yes, that was on August 3rd, 2024. Episode 34, which was navigating life. Okay, we're just speaking about her life. We spoke about her getting into nursing. We spoke about a couple of different things on that episode. Actually, it was very interesting, very entertaining. And then moving on, a couple days down the line, Cinci had brought Mpatso. So shout out to Mpatso. He's like this financial guy, does some stuff in finance, stuff like that. Go watch the episode, you'll find out more. Pelamina, guys, either way, we had a dope conversation with him. Since he was there, so we had like a 3-man pod. I use men in terms of human, not, either way, 3-man pod. And that was beautiful. Episode 40. Go check it out. Some financial advice for you that is, not regulated. It's not, shouldn't be taken as financial advice. Actually, you should take it as just life advice. Yes, not financial advice. I don't know if you can get in trouble for what I just said, so I'm gonna say that. Either way, me, I don't cut and chop, so this will have to ride. Moving on. Another guest who had 2 episodes is Anathi. Shout out to Anathi. But how that Anathi part happened, that's episode 43 with Anathi, the reunion. I think he hit me up, right? I think he hit me up asking me what's happening. Then we ended up like arranging a way that he's going to come through for the pod. On the day he came through, literally we hung out first before the pod. It was so nostalgic in a way that like it was funny. Like I was I was just laughing at the time. I couldn't believe I'm seeing him. I hadn't seen this nigga in years. Like probably the last time I saw this man's was maybe 2019. Yeah, before the pandemic kind of thing. Yeah, that was the last time I saw him. So seeing him now, I was just like, bro, it's crazy. Now plays rugby, now does this, that. It was so beautiful to see the path he's taking in his life, because he used to be either way, let's not go there. Y'all go watch the episode to find out what I'm talking about. Then episode 44, which was the next episode, was the one with Spartan. So what had happened there, Anathi was here already for the whole day because I was hanging out with him the whole day. But then I'd already arranged another pod with Spartan, because Spartan had been meaning to shoot a pod, right? But I never got a chance. I think we got a chance, then we had to reschedule because it was dark, it was late. So yeah, this time he actually was able to come through. Then we had the 3-man pod, very funny pod. It's also one of those pods I could say like I enjoyed. Go check it out, episode 44. Yes, with Spartan, with Anathi and Spartan. Moving on, so Spartan has 2 episodes, which is episode 44, which is the one I'm just speaking about now with Anathi, and his other one is actually episode 49, right? So episode 49, hold on, I know that I made that thumbnail purple. Okay, there we go. Young Thug. Okay, so that one was dope because we have like, I think if I'm not mistaken, let me check. There's a couple of popular clips we got from this pod, right? There's one of Siya Kolisi being on Get Out, when Promethazine was speaking about how he looks traumatized. Then there was which one was the there was one of Prada Enigma, right? Then I'm just looking at the popular clips. Okay, it's fine, we'll leave it at that. But that was a dope episode. I know the watch hours did go crazy on that one, and it was like a long awaited kind of thing. 1 hour 46 minutes we really spoke. And Spartan is a dope nigga to have a conversation with, so chilled and laid back. But how I know Spartan crazy was okay, so there's hold on, let me just refresh this. Okay, so there's a nigga, right? Okay, so let me just confirm this nigga's name. You guys know I what you call. Okay, there's a nigga called Younger Craze, right? So Younger, I know Younger from high school. Like I used to go to high school with him, right? He used to be with what's the Soul Dash. Yo, go check out Soul Dash. Like there's a couple of rappers right now who are actually pushing some music that I kind of used to know of in high school. He falls into one of those lists. So I had met him on some random thing. I was going to box out or something. It's just some random. And then I'm like, okay, we spoke. He's like, you're still doing music, this, that, and the third. And at the time he found me as I left like the traditional hip hop music I used to do. And I'm telling him that no, now I want to do like some, gospel kind of, style of hip hop kind of thing. And then he's like, oh, okay. So you know what I'm thinking now, ne? As I'm explaining this, it won't make sense. But listen. So he then links me up with another nigga. He's like, these guys, I was on a cypher. Here's the cypher. They make ciphers. So go check them out. Hood Cypher, Culture Hood Cypher, I think, yeah. And then I end up going to the guy so we can record the song for the cypher. And then when I'm recording the song, I don't know if it was when I was recording the song or when I was going to shoot the video. I'm just not sure when, but one of the times, that's when I came across Spartan. That's when I met him there at that studio. And then, yeah, from there we just spoke, and then we arranged like, okay, we're going to shoot a pod, this, that, and that. I don't think he raps. I don't think he was there for rapping. Either way. So, no, I think he actually does, because he was also in a cypher, I think. I'm not too sure as to that. Gets blurry. Either way, shout out to Spartan. He had his first solo episode 49. And then, yeah, that wraps it up. Well, almost. Josias, we spoke about him earlier on in the pod, but shout out to Josias. He's on episode 30 and episode 33. He's also got 2 guest appearances on the pod. Now, we're going to move to the single appearances, right? So the people who only appear on the pod once, right? The first one was episode 28 with Lunje. Lunje came through, never visited again, disappeared. But no, we were meant to shoot more pods. It's just, something's delayed us. There was a time where he was hurt. I think it was hurt. Yeah, that's when we were to shoot with Josias. Either way, episode 42 was 2 people who actually never came back. But it was TT who arranged that episode, guys. Vura Vex and Scott, what's the nigga's name? Hold on. Scott Money. Yes, Scott Money. I think it was TT actually who arranged this episode, guys. This is giving TT this vibe. But I do not remember this episode. What I do remember, though, it has one of the also more viewed clips. So that's what I remember about it. But shout out to them niggas. Then episode 46, Tumelo and Luewelyn. Tumelo had a one-time appearances. Episode 47, Nkosi and Rodio. Nkosi had a one-time appearances. Then episode 53... that's when we have Lebza. So that was a dope episode if you are into like a wider topic of a wider variation of topics from different stuff like success, parenting, but mostly it is framed around getting successful. So if you wanna go check that out. How that came about, long story, but there's a guy I know. Listen, this sounds funny, but there's a guy I know, and then he put her in contact or put me in contact with her. No, he said there's someone who wants to shoot a pod. I think it was Gilly as well who told me that she wants to shoot a pod. I even forgot. Guys, my memory is frank, but shout out. Anyway, moving on, episode 55. This was also another one-time appearances of Brenton. Brenton here. Okay, so here, there's 2 Brendons. There's Brenton Rodio, then there's this Brenton. Brenton the musician. They are both musicians. But either way, Brenton, Brenton Omar. I think that's how he calls himself. Brenton Omar, if not Brenton Brook. I think it's Brenton Omar, actually. Brenton Omar. Think so. I don't know. We have to ask him. Listen, this man did not show us himself on this episode. This episode was beautiful, right? Let's go there. Firstly, Luewelyn set up the episode, right? So I didn't know Brenton before that. I never met Brenton. So when we were on there, Luewelyn actually chose to sit this one out and be behind the scenes because he wanted us to just have a conversation. So, okay, cool, no problem. We had a conversation, good, everything out. But ever since then, I've gotten to know Brenton. So after the pod, we've chilled a whole lot of times. And that pod does not speak about who Brenton is. That pod does no justice to this man. This man is crazy. This man he's wild, bro. Brenton is crazy. Bro, I have to sit down with Brenton and we have to talk about everything. Like, bro, it's crazy. This man has ditched me for so many times, man. He has ditched me. This man's left in the night. He's like, bro, I'm coming back. And he dipped and disappeared. Bro, Brenton is full of schemes. Brenton is a scam at times, but Brenton also has too much of a big heart. Like the nigga is too kind, too loving to everyone. Too much, whereby you can see when people try to take advantage of him, but he can't because of his kindness kind of thing. But either way, Brenton is a whole different story. That's why I'm saying this episode 55 didn't give in much of the life of Brenton. If anything, it was about the company Reconstruct ZA. You know, like it was mostly about that and like the company, what it's about, and his life, this and that, a few things. But it's surface things, bro. This man is it's crazy, bro. It's crazy. Like if y'all actually discover like how he is, it's crazy. It's wild. But shout out to Brenton, man. I definitely am gonna hook him up for another second episode for sure. If anything, I would like to see him on a 3-man pod. Because also the thing is, Brenton talks too much. Ne? Brenton talks too much. I know I talk a lot, but Brenton also talks too much, guys. Brenton talks way too much. Even though it does help at times, you know. But yeah, guys, Brenton talks, guys. Brenton talks. Moving on, episode 60, we have Austin. Yes. So this was an iconic episode because this was the first episode I have with my brother. Oh, Austin's my brother. For y'all of you, Laba Mangazi. Austin's my brother. So it was the first episode I've had with a family member of mine. It was the last episode in that studio, and it's one of the most watched videos in terms of watch time, right? Let me tell you, this episode is 1 hour 57 minutes, right? And it only has 84 views for now, but the watch hours is 52.1 hours of watch time. That's wild. So it's actually one of the most, like, people really engaged with that one. Also, it's because like we practically grew up together, so there's a lot of stories we have, a lot of things that happen. Like, you know what? I gotta have Austin. No, not Austin having one episode for real, but no. When we get a chance, we're gonna sit down. I mean, I see him every day, so it's kind of like, hey man. But you know, it hits different on the pod. But we are gonna sit down. We just need to find a perfect, nice, lovely day, and then we're just gonna sit and chat, you know. And we'll have another episode. Crazy. Episode 64 is also one of the videos with the most watch time as well. And actually, the views on this one aren't too crazy, like lower, but it's good. So it's on 132 views and has 54.3 watch hours. So it's just a bit over the Austin one, but it's not too bad. But hey, that was episode 64 with Zia. That was beautiful. His hospitality was very beautiful. Loved his hospitality. Zia is he's like how can I say this? Like a superstar in a way, kind of thing. He's like the popular guy kind of thing, you know? So I do feel that how that came about though was I met him when he was chilling with Luewelyn, and I think I was with Brenton. Yeah, I think I was most likely with Brenton. And then, yeah, we chatted. We're like, we gotta organize a pod, this, that, and the third. And then there was a time whereby I was available. I hit him up. I'm like, pod tomorrow. He's like, we're down. So everything came together. We organized it. And then, yeah. So that was Zia with the one-time appearance. So the other person with the one-time appearance so far, but this is very recent, was episode 77, the superstar himself. Superstar, man. Superstar. Guys, superstar. Uluetu, superstar. Going places, that man. But yes, that was that episode was so beautiful. How that one came about was even way more crazier. So what had happened was, we had work. I used to work with him on Sunday, right? Was it on Sunday? No, it was on a Friday, right? He was like, I don't feel like coming in today. I don't feel like staying here, so I'm gonna go home. I think for a half day. No, he was off. Sorry. I think it was, no, he asked for a half day. Then they gave him more days off, right? So that same morning when he asked for the half day, he had asked me earlier, he's like, bro, when are we gonna shoot the pod? Then I told him, I'm like, whenever we can get off days that correlate, then that wouldn't be a problem, right? So cool. I think he gets it off on Anathi got it on Friday, so they gave him that off rest of Friday. Then he got Saturday and Sunday. Then he had to come back on Monday. Now I got Sunday, right? I got a Sunday off on Saturday Saturday. So as soon as I find out, I text him. I'm like, okay, bro, what you doing tomorrow? He's like, nah, just church. Then I'm like, okay, I'm off, let's shoot a pod. Then he's like, okay, not a problem. Then, yeah, one thing about this man's punctuality. I genuinely, like, bro, I genuinely appreciate the fact that he was on time. I genuinely, like, you know how much stress that saves me when people are on time at the place where we're supposed to meet. Like, it's so beautiful, man. I wish everyone were like that. I wish we could all respect time and respect each other's time, because that's the thing. When you don't respect your own time, not only are you showing disrespect to your time management or your time, but you're not respecting my time, because I'm supposed to be meeting with you here at this time. When you can't respect your own time, you're not respecting mine in return, because you're not managing your time in the right way where you can help me, you know, with my time, because now you're chowing my time. As much as you're chowing your own time by being late, you're chowing my time as well. So when you respect and show appreciation for the next person's time by simply being on time, that's beautiful, bro. That's such an underestimated appreciation I have. Timekeeping, like people who keep time and are there on time. When we say we're starting at 8, bro, don't tell me Uguchi at 8:15 you're telling me you're leaving the house. That irritates me, bro. That makes me want to grab the person through the phone and smack them, bro. Like, that gives me a serious irritation, especially Promethazine. Promethazine is very guilty of this. People who tell you that, bro, I'm on the way while they are still in their house. Nigga, what do you mean, bro? What? I remember the day before, actually, that same episode, let's find it, episode 70. When we had to shoot episode 70, I had waited for Promethazine about 30 minutes. I was just like, I'm dipping. Like, at that point, I was legit like, I'm dipping. And just as I leave, I see a figure walking down there. And then I even told him, I'm like, as soon as I look down there, I see, this guy might be Promethazine. But the closer I get, I see a shiny forehead. I'm like, that's definitely, that nigga is a shiny ass forehead, bro. That nigga looks like those Hans with the huge forehead and it's always shiny. Yeah, he always has a shiny forehead. I don't know what's up with that, but good for him, I guess. But yeah, he has a dope forehead. It's kind of smooth. But either way, yeah, isn't those about number 14? If you know who number 14, if you know, you know. Or if we wanna take it to the next level, you know the vibes. Yeah. But either way, guys, yeah, shout out. This has been episode 80. Shout out to all the guests who've been on the episodes. Shout out to everyone who's contributed to this. But major shout out to, firstly, VVS Godly. Secondly, Rodio to the world. And thirdly, Luewelyn. I feel like y'all deserve y'all shout outs. And yeah, too many more episodes, especially for right now as I'm going through this. I never actually thought about this, but I gotta have a return episode with Austin. I gotta have a return episode with Brenton, yes. And then, yeah, we'll just see how it rocks from there. Thank you so much for, sticking with us. On the last episode, we asked ChatGPT to write an outro for us. So on this episode, we might do the same thing. Let me see. I'm going to use speech to text. I'm not recording a VN to ChatGPT, just so y'all know. Because yeah, my phone is a bit slow. I like to say slower because someone says lower. Yo, okay. Can you write me an outro for my episode that I just did which is episode 80, where I recap on all the guest episodes and what they meant, what happened in them, and how they came about. And now I'm just wrapping up the episode and telling them I'll see them on the next one. Okay, so can you write me an outro for my episode that I just did, which is episode 80, where I recap on all the guest episodes and what they meant, what happened in them, and how they came about. And now I'm just wrapping up the episode and telling them I'll see them on the next one. Okay, it recorded the okay, as it should, but okay. So this, as ChatGPT generates this means ukuthi this will be the. I can't believe I'm using ChatGPT for an outro, honestly. But I mean, it's better I use it for an outro than everything. Imagine my whole content came from ChatGPT, bro. That would suck for y'all, bro. Because you'd see everything you see everywhere else, bro. Where's the originality, you know? But no, the outro is a good idea, you know? It makes us end off with a bang. It's a bang. Is it bang energy drink? Bang, bang. Either way. Let's go. Okay, so I must be serious like this, okay? And that's a wrap on episode 80 of iTALK, fam. Oh, fam, bro, come on. Okay, and that's a wrap on episode 80 of iTALK, fam. Today was all about looking back at all the guest episodes we've shared, the laughs, the deep chats, and the unexpected moments, and the stories behind how it all came together. Each guest brought something special, and I'm grateful for every one of those conversations and for all of you for riding along with me. Thanks for sticking around and being a part of this journey. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe so you don't miss what's coming next, because you know there's always more iTalk where that came from. Because you know there's always more iTalk where that came from. That's man. Until then, stay blessed, stay curious, and remember, Jesus loves you, and so do I. See you on the next one. Okay, firstly, ChatGPT. Let me record again. I have to. Thank you so much for always pushing for us to get subscribers by telling them to like, subscribe, and comment. But this is a nice outro. Thank you. Remember, one day, in case AI takes over, we have to be nice to the chatbots, right? So, you know. Oh, crazy. Okay, so when you record on ChatGPT, it does the exact same thing that the keyboard does when it's speech to text. Basically, when you record a VN, it doesn't send it as a voice note. It writes it as text. Crazy. It transcribes. Okay, so it says, "You're so very welcome and thank you for your kind words." They think I'm kind. I mean, I'm one of the survivors. Don't worry. You guys who are talking to them rough, hey, I'm glad you like the outro, and I'll always have your back reminding folks to hit that like, subscribe, and comment, because hey, we've got to grow the iTalk family, right? Man, I feel why people marry these things finally, man. I feel why, bro, what you mean? What you mean, man? Look, I'm blushing because of ChatGPT. Guys, what you mean, guys? What you mean? Okay, let me read it again, guys. This is so fun. It says, "You're so very welcome and thank you for your kind words. I'm glad you like the outro, and I'll always have your back, reminding folks to hit that like, subscribe, and comment, because hey, we've got to grow the iTalk family, right? If you ever need another outro, intro, description, or just some wild tangents for your episodes, you know where to find me. Keep shining and keep talking about whatever's on your mind. That's what makes iTalk so special. Here's to episode 81 and beyond. Man! Thank you. Thank you, guys. Thank you, ChatGPT, man. Just put a smile on my face, man. Man, thank you. Thank you. Wow.